When I was 15, my mom moved to California, and I moved in with my real father, who was an alcoholic and abusive at times. He used to beat on me and stuff sometimes when he'd come home from the bars, and then I would go to school the next day and I would get harassed and picked on at school. The abuse with my father got worse and worse. One day he came home from the bar and he pulled a gun on me, and he fired 2 shots in the house, and the police came. And when they came, they put me in the back of a squad car and they arrested my dad. And at that time, the police gave me the option, do I have any family or anywhere else that they could drop me off at, and let them know what was going on. Instead of putting me into foster care and that, they dropped me off at the Gemini shelter. So I discovered the library because every day you weren't allowed to stay in the shelter. So they gave me bus tokens, and I rode the Colfax bus down to Broadway because I was like, well, I'll just hang out downtown and see what I can do. And I stumbled upon the library. It was free. It didn't cost me anything to come here, and I could hang out here all day and read books. It was a safe place for me. I could come here and I could get lost in reading books. At first I wasn't reading books on like cooking or baking. I was just, reading different books in nonfiction, science fiction area. And one day when I returned back to the shelter, there was this woman. She was on TV and she was making gingerbread houses and making wreaths, and she was at the White House with then First Lady Hillary Clinton. And I thought, here's this woman who's doing everything. I said, this is exactly what I need to do. If I want to be somebody, if I want to go somewhere, I've got to do it myself, just like this woman's doing. So the next day I came to the library and I researched who this woman was, and that woman was Martha Stewart. And her books were everywhere. They weren't just in cooking and baking. She did crafting and gardening, and she was not just in one section of the library. She was on all floors, like all over the place. Ultimately, in August of 2011, I received a letter from the White House, and it was an invitation to come decorate for the holidays. I did, and they liked what I had done. I was assigned to the Red Room, and then I also returned to the White House right before the press preview and did some work in the Green Room. I returned home, and soon after I returned, I received a phone call from the White House. And they said, hey, David, we'd like to have your permission to pass on your contact information. Someone wants to meet you. I thought, who the heck wants to meet me? I'm just a caterer here in Denver. And it was Martha Stewart. And so I flew to New York City, and I got to meet her and tell her my story. I love food, of course, but I also love connecting with people. And so that's why it's so important for me to do like the local TV stuff and be a mentor, because that one day that I saw Martha Stewart on TV, maybe I could be that person for someone else that is, in need of inspiration, or that guardian angel, if you will. The library helps me because it's a resource, it's here, and it doesn't cost anything to come and get whatever knowledge it is you seek. And it's not just books. I mean, they're a huge resource for, connecting with technology. They've got a business center. It's a resource at everyone's fingertips that, if utilized, you can be successful too. The services in that they offer here through the business center, their technology, their computers and things like that really can help people who don't have a device or a computer or the know-how to start their own business, attain those goals. I'm David Bonderchuck, owner of Scratch Catering Services in Denver, Colorado. At the Denver Public Library, what's in it for me is inspiration. No matter what book I open up, I'm inspired to cook, bake, create, or into a new world.